Okay, so my son brought home a girlfriend, and at first I was thrilled, genuinely, because Jake is 28, still lives alone, works too much, and his idea of a home cooked meal is adding hot water to ramen. So when he said, "Mum, I'm bringing someone to dinner, someone important, her name's Brittany," I thought, finally. Maybe he's settling down. Maybe I'll get grandkids someday. Maybe this is IT. Brittany showed up looking like she stepped out of a Pinterest board. Perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect outfit. She brought flowers. Flowers. "Mrs. Anderson, it's so lovely to meet you. Jake has told me so much about you." She hugged me. She complimented my house. She asked if she could help with dinner. She was perfect. Too perfect, actually. But I ignored that little voice in my head because I wanted to like her. I wanted this to work. Dinner went great. She laughed at my jokes. She asked about my work. She told stories about her childhood that were just sad enough to be sympathetic, but not so sad that they were uncomfortable. She was playing the game perfectly. And Jake looked at her like she'd hung the moon. He was in love. Deep, ridiculous. "I'd jump in front of a bus for you, love." And I was happy for him. I really was, even though something felt off. But I couldn't put my finger on it. She was polite, she was sweet, she was nice. So why did I feel like I was watching a performance? Like she was reading lines from a script called How to Impress Your Boyfriend's Mom. Maybe I was just being paranoid. Maybe I was one of those mothers who thinks nobody's good enough for her son. Maybe I needed to chill. So I did. I chilled. I welcomed her. I tried. And for a few weeks, everything was fine. She'd come over for Sunday dinners. She'd text me occasionally. "Hope you're having a great week. Thanks again for that recipe." Normal stuff. Sweet stuff, daughter-in-law material. But then the little things started, small things, tiny things, things that individually meant nothing, but together formed a pattern. Like how she'd check her phone constantly when Jake wasn't looking, but put it away the second he turned around. Or how she'd smile at me, but the smile never reached her eyes. Or how she'd compliment me in this tone that sounded nice but felt like an insult wrapped in sugar. "I love your house, Mrs. Anderson. It's so cozy, so lived in." Lived in. That's code for messy and outdated, right? "Your hair looks great today. I could never pull off that style, but it works for you." Translation. "Your hair is terrible, but I'm going to pretend it's not." "Jake talks about you all the time. He's such a mama's boy." "Mama's boy," said with a laugh, but not a nice laugh. A laugh that said, "Your son is pathetic and you made him that way." But again, I couldn't prove anything. She was never outright rude. She was never openly hostile. She was just subtle. Death by 1,000 paper cuts disguised as compliments. And when I'd mention it to Jake, he'd say, "Mom, she's just nervous. She wants you to like her. She's trying." Right, trying, sure. Red flag number one. But I couldn't explain it. It was just a feeling, a bad feeling, a something's wrong here feeling. Then came the family dinner incident. My birthday, I'd invited my sister Carol, my brother Tom, and a few close friends. Jake and Brittany were coming, obviously. I'd been planning it for weeks. I made my famous lasagna, bought a nice cake, decorated the dining room. It was going to be nice, a good celebration with people I loved. Brittany texted me that morning, "Can't wait for tonight. Should I bring anything?" I said, "No, just bring yourself." She sent back a smiley face emoji. Seemed normal, seemed fine. They arrived on time. Brittany had changed clothes since I'd last seen her. Now she was wearing this low-cut dress that was way too fancy for a casual family dinner. But whatever, maybe she wanted to look nice. We sat down to eat, everything was going great. And then my sister Carol said, "So Brittany, Jake tells us you work in marketing?" And Brittany smiled that smile. "Oh yes, I do, unlike Jake's mum, who's retired now." The way she said retired made it sound like I'd given up on life, like I was one step away from bingo night at the senior centre. "I'm 53, I said, keeping my voice light. "I retired early because I could, sold my business." "Oh, that's wonderful," Brittany said way too enthusiastically. "It must be so nice to just relax, not have to worry about being productive anymore." Not have to worry about being productive? I'd run a successful graphic design firm for 25 years. I'd built it from nothing. I'd sold it for enough money to retire comfortably and travel and do whatever I wanted. And this girl, this 26-year-old girl, who probably learned what marketing meant from a YouTube video, was implying I was useless. But I smiled. I stayed calm because everyone was watching and I wasn't going to cause a scene at my own birthday dinner. Red flag number 2. Then she started on the food. "This lasagna is really interesting, Mrs. Anderson. I've never had it made quite like this before." Interesting, the kiss of death for food. "What do you mean?" I asked. She took a tiny bite, smiled and said, "It's just very rustic, very homemade. I'm sure Jake loves it because it reminds him of childhood, right, babe?" Jake, oblivious, nodded enthusiastically. "Mum's lasagna is the best." Brittany patted his hand like he was a child. "Of course you think that, sweetie. It's nostalgia." Then she turned to everyone else. "I actually made a lasagna last week using a recipe from this amazing Italian chef. It was so much work, but so worth it. Jake said it was the best thing he'd ever eaten." She looked at me. "No offence, Mrs. Anderson. No offence, the most offensive phrase in the English language." My sister Carol caught my eye. She knew she could see what was happening. But what could I say? "Your son's girlfriend is subtly insulting me at my own birthday party. That sounds insane. That sounds like I'm jealous. That sounds like I'm the problem." So I said nothing. I ate my rustic lasagna. I smiled and I watched Brittany work the room like a politician at a fundraiser, charming everyone, making jokes, playing the perfect girlfriend, and all I could think was, this girl is fake. This girl is lying and nobody sees it but me. After dinner, I was in the kitchen cleaning up. Brittany came in. "Let me help you with those dishes, Mrs. Anderson." Too cheerful, too eager. We stood at the sink in silence for a moment, washing plates, and then she said very quietly, "You know, Jake and I have been talking about moving in together." I paused. "Oh, really? That's a big step." "It is," she said, scrubbing a fork way too aggressively. "And honestly, I think it would be good for him to get some space from family, from influences. You understand?" Influences. She meant me. She meant I was an influence that Jake needed space from. I turned to look at her. She was smiling, that same empty smile. I just think it's important for couples to establish their own lives, without too much interference. I took a breath, counted to 5, and said very calmly, "Well, I'm sure you and Jake will figure out what's best for you both." She patted my arm, patted it like I was a confused elderly relative. "I'm so glad you understand, Mrs. Anderson. I was worried you'd be one of those overbearing mother-in-law types." And she laughed like it was a joke. Red flag number 3, 4, and 5. But still, I had no proof. Just feelings, just vibes. Just the sense that this woman was playing a long game and I was the obstacle she needed to remove. I didn't say anything to Jake. What would I even say? Your girlfriend was passive-aggressive while doing dishes. He'd think I was crazy. He'd think I was jealous. He'd defend her. So I kept quiet and I waited and I watched. 2 weeks later, Jake called me. He sounded upset, distant, cold even. "Hey, Mum, can we talk?" "Of course, honey. What's wrong?" There was a long pause. Did you say something to Brittany about her job, about how she's not good enough for me?" My stomach dropped. "What? No, I never said anything like that." "She told me you did. At your birthday party, she said you pulled her aside and told her she wasn't welcome in the family, that you didn't approve of her." I was stunned, speechless, because that was a lie, a complete, fabricated, psychotic lie. "Jake, I never said that. I would never say that. She was really upset, Mum. She was crying. Why would she lie about that?" Why would she lie? Oh, I don't know, Jake. Maybe because she's systematically trying to turn you against me. Maybe because she's a manipulator. But I couldn't say that, not without sounding unhinged. I don't know why she'd say that, but it's not true, I promise you. She seemed really genuine, Mom. Genuine. The girl who insults me with compliments and undermines me at every opportunity is genuine. Jake, I think there's been a misunderstanding. I don't think so. I think you just don't like her and you're trying to come between us. Those words hit like a slap. My own son, accusing me of trying to sabotage his relationship because of her lies. "That's not true," I said quietly. "I want you to be happy. I've always wanted that." "Then why did you say those things to her?" "I didn't." But he didn't believe me. I could hear it in his voice. She'd gotten to him. She'd planted the seed, and it was growing. "I need some space, Mom. I think it's best if we don't talk for a while." And he hung up, just like that. My son, who I'd raised alone after his father died, who I'd worked 3 jobs to put through college, who I'd supported through every breakup, every failure, every hard moment. He hung up on me because his girlfriend lied. I sat there in my kitchen, phone in hand, shaking, not with sadness, with rage, because I'd been polite, I'd been welcoming, I'd tried, and this is how I was repaid, with lies, with manipulation, with my son being turned against me. Oh no, I don't do helpless, I don't do victim. If Brittany wanted to play games, fine, let's play. But she picked the wrong mother to mess with. I called my sister Carol, told her everything. She was livid. I knew something was off about that girl. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, but I need proof. I need evidence, because right now it's my word against hers and Jake believes her. Carol thought for a moment. What about her phone? What about her social media? I'd thought about that, but Brittany's social media was spotless. Perfect couple photos, perfect captions. She looked like girlfriend of the year, but social media is a highlight reel. It's not real. What about her friends? Carol asked. Maybe they know something. Her friends. That was actually smart. I did some digging. Found out Brittany had a close group of girlfriends she hung out with regularly. They had a group chat. They posted about it sometimes. Girls' night. Love my besties. That kind of thing. And people who talk in group chats, they get comfortable, they get honest, they get sloppy. I just needed to see those messages. But how? Then I remembered. Jake had Brittany's iPad. She'd left it at his place a few weeks ago and asked him to hold on to it. He'd mentioned it in passing, and iPads sync with iPhones. If she had iMessage on both devices, her messages would be there, all of them, including the group chat. I just needed access to that iPad, which meant I needed to go to Jake's apartment, which was risky, because we weren't exactly on speaking terms. But I had to try. I texted Jake, casual, breezy. "Hey, honey, I left my good casserole dish at your place last time I visited. Can I swing by and grab it?" No response for hours. Then finally, "I'm at work, keys under the mat." Perfect. I drove over, let myself in, found the iPad on his coffee table. My hands were shaking as I opened it. No password. Thank God for people who think they have nothing to hide. I opened iMessage, went straight to her group chat with her friends, Brittany's besties. And there it was, months of messages, and oh my God, the things she said about Jake, about me, about her entire plan. I scrolled to the beginning, 6 months ago, right after they started dating. "Girls, I think I found my ticket out of this soddy apartment. Jake's got a good job, no debt, and his mom is loaded. If I play this right, I'm set." My blood turned to ice. She was using him. She'd been using him from the start. More messages? His mom is going to be a problem. She's one of those types who thinks her son is perfect, but I can handle her. I'll just play nice until the ring's on my finger. I told Jake. His mum said I wasn't good enough for him, LOL. He totally believed it. Now he feels bad and wants to prove how much he loves me. This is too easy. Too easy. She was bragging about manipulating my son, about lying, about turning him against me, and there was more, so much more. I'm going to suggest we move in together soon. Once we do, I can start distancing him from his mom. She's too involved, too controlling. She'll just get in the way. If this works out, I'm thinking we can convince him to ask his mum for money, like a lot, for a house fund or whatever. Then we can use it however we want. She's desperate to be a good mum, so she'll probably just hand it over LMAO. I took screenshots, every single message, every lie, every manipulation, every cruel, calculating, sociopathic word. My hands weren't shaking anymore, they were steady, because now I had proof, now I had ammunition, and I was going to use it. I sent all the screenshots to my phone, closed the iPad, put it back exactly where I found it, grabbed my casserole dish for good measure, and left. That night I texted Jake. "We need to talk, in person, tomorrow. It's important." He tried to brush me off. "Mum, I told you I need space." "Jake, please. One conversation, that's all I'm asking." Long pause. Then, "Fine, but just you and me, not Brittany." "Oh, don't worry, honey. This is definitely just you and me, and the truth." We met at a coffee shop the next day. Neutral territory. He looked tired, defensive, like he was bracing for a fight. "What's this about, Mum?" I pulled out my phone. "I need to show you something, and I need you to keep an open mind." I slid the phone across the table, pulled up the screenshots. These are from Brittany's group chat with her friends. Read them, all of them. He looked at me like I'd lost my mind. "You went through her messages? Mom, that's..." "Just read them, Jake." He picked up the phone, started scrolling. I watched his face change, confusion, then disbelief, then hurt, deep, crushing hurt. He kept reading, his jaw clenched, his eyes went dark. He scrolled faster through months of lies, months of manipulation, months of her laughing about him with her friends, calling him easy to control, calling me a problem to deal with, planning how to isolate him, how to use him. When he finished, He put the phone down, didn't say anything, just sat there staring at nothing. "Jake," I started. She was using me. His voice was flat, empty. The whole time. She didn't love me. She just wanted, what, money? A place to live? "I'm so sorry, honey." And she lied about you. She made me think you were the problem, that you didn't like her, that you said all those things. Tears welled up in his eyes. "I chose her over you. I believed her over you." "You didn't know," I said softly. "She was good at this. She's done this before, probably. You're not stupid. You were just in love." "I hung up on you." His voice cracked. "I told you I needed space. I thought you were trying to ruin my life when you were trying to protect me. It's okay." "It's not okay, Mum. None of this is okay." He stood up. "I need to go. I need to end this." He left the coffee shop, drove straight to Brittany's place. I know because he called me 2 hours later. "It's done." I showed her the screenshots. She tried to deny it at first, said her friends were joking, said I was taking it out of context, but when she realised I wasn't buying it, she dropped the act completely. Told me I was pathetic, told me I'd regret this, told me I'd never find anyone better than her. He laughed bitterly. Can you believe that? After everything, she still thought she was the prize. "How are you doing?" I asked, long pause. I don't know. Angry, hurt, embarrassed, relieved. Is that weird?" "Not weird at all." "Mum?" "Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for not believing you, for pushing you away, for letting her come between us." "You don't have to apologise, Jake. You were manipulated by someone you trusted. That's not your fault." "I should have known. I should have seen it. She was good at hiding it. That's what manipulators do." He came over that night. We ordered pizza, watched bad TV, didn't talk about Brittany, just existed together, like we used to, like we should have been doing all along. And slowly, he started to heal, started to trust his own judgment again, started to forgive himself for being fooled. It took time, months actually, but he got there. As for Brittany, last I heard she'd moved on to someone else, some other guy with a good job and a loaded family, playing the same game, telling the same lies. But that's not my problem anymore. My problem was protecting my son, and I did, with proof, with evidence, with the truth she thought she'd hidden. So if this story made you want to check your kids' partner's group chat, or made you grateful you trusted your gut, hit like and subscribe, because I've got more stories. Stories about manipulators who thought they were untouchable. Stories about lies that unraveled. Stories about mothers who don't play games, they end them. Spoiler alert, we always find out. Always. Because liars get comfortable. They get sloppy. They leave evidence. And when they do, we're ready. We're always ready. You can fool my son once, but you'll never fool his mother. Not ever, not even close.